Good morning. Welcome to Homecoming 2013. My name is Charlie Kinslow, class of 72, and I have the honor of serving as president of the Rhodes College Alumni Association. This meeting is now called to order. Let's begin today's program by saluting our reunion classes. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and clap your hands to the Rhodes Fight Song performed by Jimmy Cornfoot, class of 07, as Student Government President Sally Handley leads the procession of class banners. Celebrating their 0-year reunion, the class of 2013. Class of 2008, 5th year reunion. 10th year reunion, class of 2003. 15th year reunion, the class of 1998. 20th year reunion, the class of 1993. The 25th reunion, the class of 1988. 30th reunion, the class of 83. 35th reunion, the class of 78. 40th reunion, the class of 73. 45th reunion, the class of 1968. And now our Golden Links, celebrating their 55th reunion, the class of 1958. And celebrating their 60th reunion, the class of 1953. Welcome, class of 63, you're the newest members of the Golden Links. Members of the class of 1963, please remain standing. Everyone else, please be seated. Members of the class of 1963, this date must have looked very far off when you were college freshmen in the fall of 1959. Congratulations on reaching this milestone. I hope everyone will join me in another round of applause to celebrate the 50th reunion of the class of 1963. If y'all will please be seated, thank you. The Alumni Association sends its best regards to all the classes celebrating a class reunion this year. Have a great time renewing your college friendships this weekend. I also want to thank alum Jimmy Cornfoot, class of 07, for getting us into the school spirit with the Rhodes Fight Song. You are following the tradition set by our late and much beloved accompanist, Professor David Ramsey, class of 61. Thanks, Jimmy. I now call on the Reverend Dr. James Shumard, member of the class of 73, to lead our invocation. Jim is currently rector of St. Michael's Episcopal Church in Waynesboro, Georgia, and has served full-time in the Episcopal Church for the last 21 years. He received a Master of Divinity degree from Candler School of Theology, Emory University, and a Doctor of Ministry from Episcopal Divinity School in Cambridge. He's married to Maureen Horgan Shumard, and they have 2 children, ages 16 and 21. Jim?
Yes, I still have one at home. I was a late bloomer. Before I give the invocation, I would like you, as you are able to, please stand as we take a few moments of silence to remember those who have gone before us, passed away in this last year. Please stand as you are able. Their names are printed in the bulletin. You might want to be glancing through them. Please be seated. For those of you who have lost friends or classmates or loved ones during this year, you might want to stop by the Dodrell Meditation Garden located on the south side of Fisher Garden for a time of remembrance. Now, speaking of remembrance, I'm going to share with you something you don't even know. You know, the name of the college has changed, but did you know that Fisher Garden's name changed for one brief year? Way back in 1971. Does anybody remember Captain Pierce? Yes. The security guard? Yes. Well, I did work study as security. The cool thing about Fisher Gardens is there's labels on all the trees. And there was one called Quercus Shumardi. So every time I went to Fisher Gardens to radio into Captain Pierce, I would say Shumardi Gardens. It was just fine and dandy. So for 1 year, it had a different name. I just had to say that. Now, one thing we Episcopalians like to do is warn you before we pray. So when I say the Lord be with you, your answer will be, and also with you. So let's try that. The Lord be with you. And also with you. Let us pray. Dear God, we call upon your presence in this sacred place of learning and teaching. A place set aside, made holy for the purpose of exploring hearts and minds, gazing into the heavens above, exploring the depths of the sea below, and being totally amazed by this awesome and fragile earth, our island home. This sacred space set aside for exploring our past and planning our future, a place where we can reach for the stars, indeed to infinity and beyond, to you and to one another. We give thanks for all who have gone before, for all who are here now, and for all who are to come. For those who teach and those who learn, for those who work and those who play. For their imagination, creativity, and perseverance. For their gifts of money, blood, sweat, and tears. For the hopes and dreams. So many lives lived with a code of honor and full of grace. God, may we all be inspired by your beauty in the world and be led to care for your creation, your gift to us. May we especially be good stewards of this corner of the universe called Rhodes College, formerly known as Southwestern at Memphis. Bless those of us who have been here before, those recent graduates who are beginning careers and families with hopes of changing the world, those in the middle of their lives, their careers and families changing the world. And those of us not so recent graduates who have changed the world and may be enjoying the fruits of our labor through retirement, children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Keep watch, dear Lord, with those who are sick and those who care for them. And we especially remember now before you those in our classes, faculty, staff, and friends of Rhodes who have passed away not only in this year, but in years past. Feel free to mention those in your hearts now or out loud.
Katie Tony. Ralph Allen. Kara Burkhart.
George Osler. Sid Silver.
Dear God, bless our time together on this day, this weekend. And as we renew old relationships and establish new ones, and also, by the way, God, please help our Lynx Cats do their best on the field of play this afternoon. All this we ask in your most holy name. And the people say, Amen.
Thank you, Jim. Next, we'll hear from the president of the Rhodes Student Government Association, Sally Handley. Sally is a senior from Birmingham, Alabama, majoring in commerce and business with a minor in Spanish. In addition to her involvement in Rhodes student government, Sally serves as a student rep on the Rhodes Board of Trustees, is a member of Kappa Delta sorority, works as a student associate for the Counseling Center, and is a student representative for the Common Table, a collaborative cross-functional group working on strategy for the future of the college. Sally has also been inducted into Rho Lambda, Order of Omega, Mortarboard, and ODK Honor Societies. Sally, thank you for this precious time and coming today.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Rhodes. I hope you're all enjoying your homecoming weekend so far. Some of you have been away from Rhodes for quite some time. Others of you may have graduated fairly recently. Some of you have the opportunity to spend 5 days a week here. For others of you, visiting Rhodes is a rare treat. However, all of you have that strong and everlasting tie to this school, your alma mater. In some ways, Rhodes may be very different from when you were here. But in many ways, it's probably just the same. The ghost of Bellingrath still haunts the 4th floor. The howler monkeys are still the most pleasant wake-up call. Intramural sports are still the reason to go to college, and Wilford is still an endless maze. And students will still avoid the seal at all costs. But most importantly, Rhodes is still fostering an environment for us to challenge ourselves and others, to stay up all night with some of the best friends we'll ever have, to invest in a city that offers us so much, and to grow and develop into well-rounded and mature individuals like all of you here today. In fact, Rhodes has recently made monumental strides to ensure that life-changing college experiences are provided for every student who steps foot on this campus. Last year, Dr. Trout and Mr. Bill Michalchuk formed the Common Table, which is a collaborative group of faculty, staff, students, and trustees working together to guarantee that Rhodes continues to thrive in the future. I've been fortunate enough to serve on Common Table, and it's been one of the most meaningful experiences of my college career. Last spring, we formed 3 teams that included over 70 faculty, staff, and students to tackle big issues on the horizon for Rhodes. The first group looked at how students connect academically and socially to Rhodes and peers, now and in 2020. Another group looked at the promises we make to prospective students and whether we fulfill or don't fulfill those promises. Finally, the last group looked at teaching and learning in the 21st century and effective learning strategies for different students. We found Common Table to be effective for the whole campus for 2 main reasons. One, it opened up lines of communication and got everyone out of their silos to be talking to each other. And it sparked an interest in ensuring the success of the college. 2, we got some great ideas out of Common Table about how to improve Rhodes, such as enhancing the mentoring relationships between first-year students and upperclassmen. We hosted an internship and fellowship information session during Parents' Weekend so that we can cultivate students' interest regarding experiential learning early on. We created Fob into 5, which is a collection of about 40 programs that help first-year students access information and support that they need over their entire first semester. The more programs that the first years attend, the more times they're entered into a raffle to win things such as Justin Timberlake tickets, Wicked tickets, a travel voucher. You get the idea. Needless to say, upper class students are ready for us to go ahead and expand this to their classes. Recognizing Common Table's potential, we created 4 more teams for this fall. We have a new ongoing innovative working group exploring new technology and figuring out how we can use it here at Rhodes. We have a team looking into the student life cycle and how we can best support students through each stage of college. Another team is looking at aligning high school expectations and the college experience. And a final group will address Rhodes' perceived and actual academic distinction. The Common Table is not only giving us great ideas, it's also encouraging all of us to participate in the current and future success of Rhodes College. We hope that we can make sure your alma mater continues to thrive now and for years to come. Thank you for all that you've done for this school. Thank you for all that you've done for us current students and for each other. You certainly deserve to have a great homecoming weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce President Bill Trout. Along with his wife, Carol, President Trout has led this college since 1999, and during this time, the national reputation of Rhodes has grown to a new level. We are truly fortunate to have a leader of his caliber at the helm. I'm honored to present to all of us our President, Bill Trout.
Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome home. We're delighted you could join us for homecoming. Congratulations to all of you who are celebrating reunions, and especially the members of the class of 1963. Hopefully this will be a perfect day for reconnecting with classmates, reconnecting with friends, reconnecting with the college that means so much to all of us. We have a busy day. An Oak Alley picnic to follow in just a few minutes. A homecoming parade I guarantee you won't want to miss. And cheering for our Lynx as they take the field against Center College. Thank you for that good word. And we'll also be dedicating Mason Field today, our new field hockey facility. Earlier this year, Rhodes was again named one of America's most beautiful college campuses. I hope you agree our college is even more beautiful today. And last year we had the privilege of adding Evergreen Church to our campus. A beautiful sanctuary, 56,000 square feet of additional space, and almost 10 acres of land. We could not be more pleased with our partnership with the Evergreen congregation. I think you all know these are indeed challenging times for American higher education, and especially for liberal arts colleges. Many of our sister liberal arts colleges are seeing enrollment declines, but not here at your alma mater. Demand for Rhodes, I'm happy to report, is at an all-time high, as is our fall enrollment. We have on campus this fall 1,944 students. Does that sound good? Great students from almost every state. Every state has a presidential scholar, senior from their respective high schools in the state. And yes, we have South Dakotas right here at Rhodes. Can you imagine a Rhodes where the geographic footprint of our student body has grown so much that we have about the same number of students from California as we have from Mississippi? That's a change. Carol and I had the privilege of being at the Claremont-McKenna football game on their campus at the Claremont Colleges in California earlier this fall, and we had gathered the Lynx fans on one side of the field, and with the 6 freshman football players from California and our Southern Cal alums, we looked across the way and realized Rhodes has as many fans as Claremont-McKenna. And we won, handily. But equally impressive is this geographic distribution of our students, is their achievements, how they achieve when they're here, what happens to them when they graduate. As you know, our aim is to provide here the very best experience possible in the classroom, also out on the campus, and certainly the very best beyond our gates. Beyond the gates, we have an increasing array of opportunities for research, for service, for internships, for study abroad. On the campus, many opportunities for students to learn together, to be on teams together. It'd be Greek life, clubs, athletic teams. We have 510 varsity athletes this fall, but also an increasing number of academic teams, teams that work together from physics to the fine arts. And yes, mock trial, which in case you're wondering, is the number 2 ranked team in all of American higher education this fall, almost beating the national championship last year in the finals. So all these opportunities, of course, the foundation of that is having the very best experience as possible in the classroom, continue to recruit, continue to retain the very best faculty, and just as that's the hallmark of your experience, I think it continues to be today. We were at a campaign meeting in Nashville a few weeks ago. One of our young alums, Katie Jamison, spoke. She spoke about her Rhodes experience, but centered on her relationship with Professor Mary Miller, who she was able to get into Mary Miller's lab her freshman year. She was a good student, she would say, but thanks to Mary, her mentorship, her friendship, her support, she left here a great student. She had 2 challenging options to consider when she left Rhodes. Do I take full funding for a PhD at Yale or full funding for a PhD at Stanford? So tough choices for Rhodes graduates. But again, thanks to a great, inspiring faculty member, that again is the cornerstone of what we do. It's an important part of our campaign for Rhodes, faculty support, as is of course support for students through scholarships. And by the way, speaking of the campaign for Rhodes, in case you're wondering, we have 14 months and 5 days left. And your support is so important to our continued success. We're particularly excited about a phase of our campaign that has just begun, support for enhancing and enlarging our science facilities. Since Fraser Jelke opened in 1968, our enrollment in the sciences has tripled. Now with the growing interest in the sciences here, if you look at America's liberal arts colleges in terms of the percentage of students graduating the sciences, your alma mater is a top 10 school. If you read this issue of the Rhodes magazine, you'll see how important that new facility initiative is, what it will mean to our students. Phase 1, which is the renovation of Rhodes Tower, is scheduled to begin this May. It will be a 15-month renovation. After that, hopefully we'll begin a second phase that requires expanding our facilities northward from Fraser Jelke. We couldn't be more excited about that opportunity. I think you can be so proud today of the achievement of our students. They continue to amaze us, continue to do wonderful things when they graduate. I had breakfast Thursday morning with our Greek and Roman Studies faculty. They were talking about last year's graduate they're so proud of, Nick Jensen, graduating with a major in Greek and Roman Studies and a major in chemistry, and is off to a great start this fall as a first-year student at Harvard Medical School. Great students doing great things. I think you can be also so proud of our commitment here to the liberal arts. That continues to be the center of all we do. Students majoring in disciplines that may not appear quite so vocational, but as you know are so profoundly important. Again, another campaign dinner in Dallas a few weeks ago, visiting with parents. Courtney Martin's father comes up and says, you know, when our daughter came home and Courtney said at the end of her sophomore year, "Dad, I'm going to major in philosophy." He was a bit crestfallen. And so he shares with his daughter, a good question, "Well, Courtney, what are you going to do with that?" She quickly responds with the resilient confidence of a Rhodes student, "Dad, anything I want." And it took her 2 weeks to get a job with Google in Atlanta, and she just got promoted and is with Google in Boston. But you can be proud that we continue to be centered in the liberal arts, and so proud that even as we grow and even as we become a stronger college academically, we continue to be guided, I think, by the long-standing values of this great school. It is still about an education about the head, but also about the heart. We're all about academic excellence. We're also all about service to humanity. And as you look at the list today of schools in terms of the service-mindedness of their student body at America's most service-minded colleges, I'm happy to report at the top of the list, continually number one, is your Rhodes College. So thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you do for our college. And again, welcome back. Welcome home.
Thank you, President Trout. We're grateful for all you and Carol do for Rhodes. Before we start the business meeting, I've got a few personal comments I wanted to run by before I leave the presidency of this group. In the late 60s, I had narrowed my liberal arts research down to either Hendrix or Southwestern. Being from LA, Lower Arkansas, I naturally gravitated to Hendrix, which was closer to home. But my playful parents thought I should go to a place where I could have an equally good time. So the die was cast and the decision was made when my mother accidentally let slip that the drinking age in Tennessee was now 18. And I could buy beer on Sunday afternoons. So goodbye Conway, hello Memphis. Hallelujah. Amen. We had full social lives that included the Greek formals, rush events, riverboat parties, and the homecoming dance at Holiday Hall in the Rivermont. Does anybody ever remember Holiday Hall in the Rivermont? There you go. There you go. But we were also blessed with a world-class faculty, such as Professor Queener in psychology, Hill in communication arts, Iskander in business and economics, and Tucker in Spanish. Registrar John Turpin became my unofficial mentor, as we would meet after every semester was over at the Student Center, drink some beer, and discuss my academic progress, or lack thereof. At our final meeting before graduation, John remarked that I had indeed graduated with distinction in the future, but no one would ever look at my transcript and conclude that I had been an overachiever. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve you in the college these last 5 years. As Alum Board President, President-elect, and President, I hope and trust that I was able to add some value to the equation. Today marks somewhere between 20 and 30 years of volunteer alumni service for my beloved alma mater. Ellen Goodman has said there's a trick to the graceful exit. It begins with a vision to recognize when a job, a life stage, or a relationship is over and let it go. It means leaving what's over without denying its validity or its past importance to our lives. It involves a sense of future, a belief that every exit line is an entry, that we are moving up rather than out. The book of Timothy 4:7 says, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. I want to give special thanks to Bud and Mel Ritchie, Tracy Patterson, and all their alum relations staff for enlisting me in the fight and keeping me in the race. In this journey, you have strengthened and solidified my faith for life. God bless all of you for being here today, and thanks for hearing me out. Since today's convocation doubles as the annual meeting of the Rhodes Alumni Association, I now have the pleasure of opening the business segment of our gathering. The first order of business is to recognize all members of the Alumni Association Executive Board by asking them to stand, and as they do, I want to call particular attention to members of the Executive Board who complete their terms today. Those rotating off the board are Ted Davis, class of '89, Jim Mulroy, class of '71, Emily Davis Olson, class of 2006, Samad Samana, class of 2007. Thank you all so much for your service to the college. It is now my pleasure to introduce the nominees for the Alumni Executive Board who have been invited to serve by the nominating committee and affirmed by the board. Pending their approval by this body, they will serve 3-year terms beginning today and concluding at Alumni Convocation 2016. Please stand as I call your name. Rickman Brown, class of '77. Victor Evans, class of 2008. Jim Golden, class of '85. Catherine Bullard Melhorn, class of '77. Amy Moore, class of '07, Elizabeth Smith Ritter, class of 2000, Amy Vines Roberts, class of '60, Bill Threlkeld, class of '53, Bill Townsend, class of '84, and Allison Kennett Williams, class of 1996. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of the Alumni Association Executive Board and its nominating committee that these alums be elected to the Alumni Association Board. Do I hear a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Congratulations and welcome aboard. In other business, the following alumni are recommended to serve in leadership roles for the Alumni Association. Trish Chris, class of '90, as secretary for a one-year term. Eric Teal, class of '91, as president-elect. If elected, Eric will become president of the Alumni Association at Homecoming 2015. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of the Alumni Association Executive Board and the nominating committee that these alumni be elected to leadership positions of the Alumni Association Board. You hear a second? Done. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to say the ayes have it. Congratulations to all of you. As you know, Kelly Ensor here is sitting as our president-elect. We have a custom of confirming that election in this convocation. I'll be losing my Secret Service detail as president of this alumni board, but I think Kelly will pick it up just fine. Do I hear a motion to accept Kelly Ensor as president of the Rhodes College Alumni Association? Do I hear a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Congratulations, Kelly. I've been waiting 2 years for this. Welcome aboard.
Charlie, if I could call you back to the podium. I just wanted to thank you for all of your service and dedication. I think you could all hear it in his comments how much he cares about this place. From your mucho congrats emails that have touched many in the Rhodes family to your Merlot moments that have impacted us and made us laugh. Thank you for everything you've done, Charlie. And
My own chair.
the captain's chair. On behalf of the Rhodes College Alumni Association, I'm pleased to present you with this token of our esteem and appreciation for your service.
Thank you, sir. You work 2 years and you get a chair. What do you do?
Thanks to all of you for your efforts on behalf of the Alumni Association. Now I get to make a special presentation, the University Hilton Award. This award goes to the reunion class with the highest percentage of members registered for homecoming. The permanent plaque is the sign from the old university dorm that hangs in the newly renovated Links layer. The winning class is the class of 1973. Congratulations. Congratulations. On the back page of your program, note that we have listed all the winners of the 2012 to 13 class awards. Please join me in saluting all these outstanding classes. With the business portion of our meeting concluded, it's now my pleasure to give special recognition to alumni who have inspired us by their dedication and service during the past year. Assisting me in these recognitions are Austin Dixon, class of 2015, and President Trout. First, Austin Dixon, President of the Black Student Association, will present the Black Student Association Distinguished Alumni Award. Austin is a junior from Did I say that right? All right, perfect. Alabama, and is majoring in both business and religious studies. He serves as the financial secretary for Phi Beta Kappa fraternity, the treasurer of the Hispanic Organization for Languages and Arts, is the student associate for the registrar's office, and is a core leader for Brothers with a Purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, Austin Dixon.
The year 1998 marks the very first Distinguished Alumni Award to be given by the Black Student Association as a way of recognizing those of high caliber that have come before us. I stand in front of you today, 15 years later, having the great honor of being a part of continuing this tradition. With this privilege, I would like to introduce this year's recipient, Patricia Spears-Jones, member of the class of 1973. Coming from Forest City, Arkansas in 1969, Patricia came to what was at the time Southwestern at Memphis. Not only did she leave with a degree in communication arts, but she also had many great experiences to go with her degree. Some of her most memorable times involved playing roof ball, also known as white ball, defying the women's curfew, and taking part in what sounds like a very interesting mud fight against the boys. Apparently, it was some act of retaliation for a panty raid that had taken place during her freshman year. In the midst of all that fun and what I'm sure was a rigorous course, she also found time to engage in several organizations on campus, some of which were the Black Student Association, the Southwester, the Publications Board, the Kinney Program, the student literary magazine, Ginger, in which she served as the co-editor. And during her time as co-editor, she and co-editor Franny Taylor made it a point to steer Ginger in the direction of being a more inclusive product of the Southwestern community by utilizing the work and efforts of a broad range of people as opposed to a select few. Since leaving Southwestern, Patricia has experienced many successes in her career. Known for her great analytical and creative skills, it comes as no surprise that she has gone on to play a very significant role in the world of arts. Her occupations have been poet, editor, teacher, program coordinator, playwright, and cultural commentator. She has authored 3 volumes of poetry, The Painkiller, Femme du Monde, and The Weather That Kills. Patricia has been named by Essence.com as one of the 40 poets they love. Her work, Femme du Monde, was chosen by Bob Holman and Marjorie Snyder at About.com as one of the top 10 poetry books of all time.
It's 2006.
Okay, just that year, sorry. That same work also received a major review by literary blogger Janet Hamill. One of her poems, Boys and the Blind, was nominated for a Pushchart Prize. In 2012, Patricia received the New York Community Trust Oscar Williams and Jean Durwood Award. Patricia has also received grants from foundations such as the National Endowments for the Arts, the New York Foundation for the Arts, the Foundation for Contemporary Arts, and the Goethe Institute for Travel and Research in Germany. While there are many things missing from this list, it does begin to sketch out an idea of just how much Patricia has contributed to society. This is someone who has truly maintained the Rhodes vision of graduating students with a lifelong passion for learning, a compassion for others, and the ability to translate academic study and personal concern into effective leadership and action into their communities and the world. It is my honor to present the recipient of the 2013 Black Student Association's Distinguished Alumni Award to Patricia Spears-Jones.
I want to thank my co-stars, the director. No, sorry. Wow, thank you. This is incredibly moving. And yay for the class of 1973. I'm about to say some good things about you guys, so be prepared. Thank you. I want to thank Austin Dixon and the Executive Board of the Black Student Association for conferring this award. Never in my wildest dream did I think I would be a distinguished alumni, but then I never thought I'd see an African American elected president, so it's good to have wild dreams. The Black Student Association is one of the college's best assets. Why? Because it has advocated for the contribution of blacks at all levels, in the faculty, administration, and of course, for students. I was one of 11 blacks in the class of 1973 in what was then the largest freshman class ever. And I was the first black girl to live on campus. I had no idea that until I got here, but I found out later that all my dorm mates had been informed about my coming. Of course, no one thought about to inform me. Let me get very serious now. Memphis was deeply segregated, with traditions and customs that were uncompromising. Racial integration was seen as an assault on the very core of the city's political culture, and Southwestern was in the midst of this. But integration was here, and a liberal arts college that prided itself on critical inquiry, on a serious study of the humanities and sciences, with an emphasis on questioning the meaning and purpose of life, had to evolve, had to integrate. We were not the first blacks at Rhodes, and yes, custom and tradition are hard to change. The Southwestern reporting and editorials led to shutting down the fraternity system when Larry Woodward, who was in an earlier class, was blackballed. Administrators lost their positions, but the class of 1973 changed the social codes, bringing the fraternity system into the 20th century, something they're only now doing in Alabama. It is the class of 1973's Black Student Association that produced one of the smartest and most effective protests ever, which led to increases in faculty and administration hires. And we were all doing this while writing papers, trying to keep up our grades, falling in and out of love, you know, being young people. Indeed, the class of 1973 has been living change as corporate executives, journalists, media professionals, business people, doctors, teachers, actors, and playwrights. I am mindful that our annual symposium was called Dilemma because there were so many during the early parts of our lives. And now young people face a new series of dilemmas. And it is my hope that your Rhodes education gives you the tools to puzzle through them with grace. I realize that despite the challenges, difficulties, and occasional hostilities that were here, I am glad to have started college in an era when administrators really understood that it would be best to integrate, to recruit and support Black American students. Affirmative action means just that, a way to act positively towards social change instead of continuing to resist it. It would be so much better for our entire nation if that attitude continued. But alas, the resistors to social change are those who want to deny the need for such change are loud, proud, and often successful. That blacks in higher education remain around 10% of the total says much about how attitudes toward change continue to disempower Black students. There would be many more Black Americans who stay the course if there were more of an understanding of how we bring to intellectual discourse a perspective that needs more and not less study, particularly in the humanities. I am thankful that a Black Student Association exists to continue to advocate for all the needs and interests of students of color who will help make a brighter future. Rhodes College made a difference for me in large and small ways. From hosting Michael McClure, who wore that scarf and had hair like this, and Mabu Mines, who recruited any number of wonderful theater people, including Terry Riley, who's not here today, during the Dilemma Symposiums, to co-editing with Franny Taylor Ginger, the literary magazine. And every week my senior year, I would read a new poetry collection, which probably got me going. Lawson Inada, Sylvia Plath, Kenneth Rexroth, David Henderson, American poets who represented some of those multitudes that Whitman talked about. The opportunities afforded me eased the discomfort that often came from being that black girl on campus. And I cannot say enough about my fellow students' intelligence, humor, creativity, and generosity. We have learned to live change. In 1969, Southwestern selected a poor black girl from Forest City, Arkansas, who wanted to become the next Marian Wright. Okay, I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I went to my political science class, and Professor Paul Shaw said, "Don't call me Professor Shaw, call me Paul." And he became Call Me Paul Shaw, and I lost it. Anyway, and graduated a young woman who was on her way to being a poet and artist. It is with gratitude and humility that I accept this honor, and also in honor of the late Ray Hill, my favorite professor. And my family, especially like my late mother, Lily B. Dodd Spears Jones. She would, if she was alive today, she'd be sitting right there with a big hat on. I am thankful that a poet is given such an honor and in her own country. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. I now call on President Trout to present the Distinguished Alumni Award.
The Distinguished Alumni Award recognizes a graduate who has brought honor to Rhodes through extraordinary achievement in his or her profession and community. Today, I am honored to present the 2013 Distinguished Alumni Award to a member of the class of 1961, Dr. Harry Swinney. Harry, would you please join me here at the podium? Harry came to Southwestern from Homer, Louisiana, after encouragement from his high school math teacher. Upon his arrival here, Harry immediately began to distinguish himself academically. He received the Phi Beta Kappa Award his first year for attaining the highest grade point average of all men in his class. But his academic path was not easy. According to Bill Howard, Harry's classmate and ATO fraternity brother, Harry discovered quickly that his high school mathematics courses were not sufficient preparation for Southwestern's freshman math under Dr. Jack Russell. And Harry was also taking physics under Dr. Jack Taylor, who became his mentor. My impression was that Harry probably set a record for post-midnight study time that first semester. Well, his post-midnight study paid off, and Harry excelled as a student. After his sophomore year, he received the National Science Foundation Research Grant. The William Spandau Scholarship in Physics was awarded to him during his junior year. As a senior, he was inducted into Phi Beta Kappa with a GPA of 3.923. While his was the highest GPA on campus, it was not a perfect 4.0. According to Bill Howard, Harry did make 1 B in 4 years, that one phys ed course. After graduating from Southwestern, Harry earned his PhD in physics from Johns Hopkins University. He then taught physics at Johns Hopkins, NYU, and the City University of New York, before joining the faculty of the University of Texas at Austin in 1978. Since 1985, Harry has served there as director of the Center for Nonlinear Dynamics. As an aside, if you look at the rankings of those programs nationwide, #1 Center for Nonlinear Dynamics, the #1 department in the country, is not Harvard, it's not Stanford, it's Texas, thanks to his leadership. Harry has had an amazing career as a scientist. A pioneer in the study of chaos theory, he has played a leading role in the study of nonlinear dynamics for over 40 years. To give you a picture of his influence, one of his papers has been cited more than 3,000 times by scientists working in many different fields. Harry has more than 100 scientific publications, has lectured at the world's most prestigious institutions, and is one of the top grant recipients at UT Austin. He's received honorary degrees from the University of Buenos Aires, the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and from Rhodes College. Harry's other professional accolades include being inducted in Johns Hopkins Society of Scholars, being named a fellow in the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, and receiving the Louis Fry Richardson Medal by the European Geosciences Union. But Harry considers being elected to the National Academy of Sciences in 1992 his highest honor. Only 6 physicists a year out of 50,000 are selected for NAS. In typical fashion, Harry modestly explains, although I had done some reasonably nice research, the election to NAS was an accident of working on the right problem at the right time. But it's not just his professional accomplishments that have distinguished Harry Swinney. It's his humble, gracious nature. It's his selfless service to others. His community service activities are many and so meaningful. They include a soup kitchen run by his church where he's volunteered for more than 20 years. He works with local high school students to place young scientists in summer research programs across the University of Texas system. Through his outreach efforts with the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, thousands of young career scientists from developing countries are receiving training in fields ranging from physics to biology to chemistry to geology to engineering. In 2000, Harry honored his mentor, Dr. Jack Taylor, by establishing a scholarship to support students majoring in the physical and biological sciences. Through his generosity, more students with great academic promise have been able to attend Rhodes. As a physics professor and teacher, Harry has mentored and served as a role model to countless graduate students through his lengthy career and his strong advocate for the benefit and advancement of student opportunities. Dr. Daniel Goldman, Associate Professor of Physics at Georgia Tech and one of Harry's doctoral students, has this to say: without exaggeration, Harry Swinney is one of the finest human beings I have ever encountered in my 40-plus years on this planet. Scientifically, he continues to be a major role model, and not a day goes by I don't compare aspects of my career to lessons learned under my time under Harry's mentorship during my PhD. By this I mean, is the scientific story compelling? Is the data convincing? Have I been clear and precise in my explanation? Have I communicated both the big idea and enough details? Are my students learning how to be responsible, creative, excited, driven scientists? Are they learning to be good scientific citizens and Mitches? Am I fair to my students and colleagues? Do I make sure to value the contributions of the administration and support staff, without whom I realize little can get done in a timely way? All of these aspects of my daily scientific life I absorbed during my time with Harry. And I think you can tell that I aspire to be the kind of mentor to my students that Harry was to me. Truly, Harry Swinney embodies the Rhodes vision. For his extraordinary professional achievements and his remarkable service to humankind, it is my pleasure to present the 2013 Distinguished Alumni Award to Harry Swinney.
Thank you very much. When I was in high school in Homer, Louisiana, our family doctor recommended that I consider attending college at Southwestern at Memphis, where he had graduated in 1938. So I visited Southwestern, and I realized this is the place I want to go. I didn't apply to any other college. The man who recommended Southwestern to me was Dr. James Gladney, who in 1983 received the first Distinguished Alumnus Award. One of his daughters, Rose Gladney, received this award in 2002. Today, two other children of Dr. Gladney, John and Cynthia, are here in the audience. They've both made distinguished contributions to the college. I'm forever grateful to Southwestern for three things that I learned here that have shaped my entire career. First, under the guidance of Professor Jack H. Taylor, who died in this past year and was mentioned by Dr. Trout, I learned how to do science in his classes, but especially from research projects that I conducted under his direction. In my senior year, I spent many hours in the basement of the science building, working in a former coal bin, putting together an experiment using surplus government equipment that Dr. Taylor had acquired. Secondly, I learned how to write in the courses I took in literature, history, and philosophy. As a faculty member at the University of Texas, I found that few students in physics write well. They may learn physics theory very well, but they don't get the exposure to the humanities that everyone gets here at Rhodes. Finally, at Southwestern, I first became involved in community service. Not that I did that much, but it struck a spark, and that has subsequently become an important and rewarding part of my life. I now co-direct annual UNESCO-sponsored hands-on research schools, which largely model my Southwestern experience. The faculty in the school, which includes Dan Goldman from Georgia Tech, who was my former student, and a number of other former students of mine, but they all volunteer their time each year in the summer for these summer schools. The participants are young faculty from colleges and universities in developing countries. In the school we had this past July, we had participants from 31 countries, from countries in Africa, Latin America, Asia, and the Mideast. The participants in the school do experiments with inexpensive equipment, the kind of equipment that's available even in the poorest of countries. We also have daily interactive sessions on writing and public speaking, and participants get intensive support to improve their communication skills. Participants often say that these sessions are the most valuable part of the school. Let me close by saying I feel extremely fortunate to have had the Southwestern experience, and I've tried to carry that experience forward in the work I do. I feel greatly honored to receive this award. Thank you.
Congratulations to each of you. We're so pleased that members of your family and dear friends could be here to celebrate the recognition which you so richly deserve. We want to take photos of you and your group, so please come to the stage immediately following convocation. We ask classmates and family members to extend their congratulations to award recipients at the picnic, which will be held on the grounds of Oak Alley immediately following this program. This year's picnic will feature a taste of Memphis with Corky's Barbecue, Gus's Fried Chicken, and Fino's Italian Sandwiches. If you've not yet purchased picnic tickets, you can do so inside the lobby of Borough Hall. So here. Following the picnic is the student-led homecoming parade, which, as President Trout mentioned, you won't want to miss. Also, there are still many more events today that are open to all alumni. Refer to your pocket homecoming schedule for specific receptions and events, or ask a member of the Alumni Relations staff if you need more information. Thank you all so much for being on campus today. Now, join me in singing our alma mater, performed by Jimmy Cornfoot, after which our convocation is adjourned and we are dismissed. Hope to see you at the homecoming picnic and afterwards at the game, and enjoy your weekend.